Hello, boys and girls, my name is Hatsusi and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included, where last time in our first episode we made good progress, although we are a bit on a small colony, 5 duplicants. Once again, we have a bit of high stress. Um, we will see what this is about. But what's worrying me the most is that we are here temperature-wise in the yellow part, which means boring to 30 degrees, and at 30 degrees, our food supply will break down, um, which is not good. So what we need is cooling, and what we need for cooling is steel. So let me figure out something how we can get steel without having any steel. That probably means we will have some malfunctioning machinery that is just getting too hot. But we will see about that. I have come up with an idea, and that's just looking at our biome, figuring out where do we have a spot that's slightly cooler than the rest, and this is in here. So here I set up the metal refinery, and we have this pool of water nearby that we will drain for coolant, and then the hot thing we will just pump back in, and eventually it will get too hot, but hopefully it will get us enough steel to make a better setup for the cooling. And the second part is we need iron or iron ore for our steel, and currently we only have aluminium found. We have copper ore and a bit of gold amalgam. So down here we have a bit of an iron ore clump. I think somewhere around here there is more iron in there. So we will see if we manage to get enough iron, to get enough steel, and how far we have to go to get it. The iron and subsequent steel production has kicked in, and so far we have no breakage, but I would expect that will happen soon, most likely due to the coolant overheating, so that the pipe breaks. But we're producing iron, we're producing steel. There we just saw the first steel coming out, and we need quite a bit of steel for our cooling setup up here, where we need 3 aqua tuners and 2 turbines, and for the turbines we also need a bit of plastic. And without going all out for oil refinement, I think we can use the Dracos there. We don't need much. We don't need much plastic, but if we do a bit of a farm down here, we should be able to get enough of it so we can produce the turbines that we need. And we will do this farm a bit differently. We will have here On top, a bit of hydrogen for the scale sugar, and then at the bottom we will have a few mealwood, as well as all the stations that we need for the farm. We are on a good track with our setup. In the meantime, we have 400 kilograms of plastic, which is enough for 2 turbines. We already had enough steel for 2 aqua tuners, so 1 more aqua tuner and 2 turbines that we need here, and then we can start up cooling the water here. And once we have cooling, we can then cool our base more efficiently. Currently we just do that here in the farming area with some strategically placed wizards, and then we can retire this setup here, which has not yet broken, or not yet that I've seen, so there might be some issues with pipe breakage, but so far so good. But steel requires lime, and we have run out of that. That's why I dug into this biome, where we eventually will get all our oil needs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 oil reservoirs that we can tap into, so that should be enough. But we are also collecting here the fossil that we can turn into lime and therefore into steel. I think we are there with our cooling setup. Here the power generation room up on top is already enclosed and filled with hydrogen gas to cool the whole thing down, and the cooling happens by a piece of radiant pipe from the fluid that we just cooled down. And down here I have a bit more than 200 kilograms of water on the floor, so I try to go 50 kilograms per each vertical tile, so usually for a 4 tile high room that's 200. And here on this side we can deconstruct the door, close off here to just ensure that no one can go in. And then this water is a bit on the warm side, so not yet cool enough to do cooling, so we will have to pump that through our setup here first, before we can use it for the actual cooling unit. And the way I have set this up is I take the water out from this end and the cool water enters here, so we have a gradient in the temperature. And for the cooling loop for the base, I take it out here, and then it comes in back here on that side. And once we have these two tiles built, we can switch on this pump, which should cool down the whole tank. And then we can kick off the cooling of our base, and in the next episode then think about next steps, what else we need cooling, what else we need to keep us going. Let's build this up, do a bit of cooling, and then see how this actually impacts our base. I managed to cool down this pool considerably. So on this side we have 15 degrees. On this side we are still below 30 degrees, and we want to get temperatures below 30 degrees because that's basically the limit for a lot of the plants that we have in here. So let's start up this cooling loop and see what this does for our base. I have just inside the base, it's all normal pipes, no radiant pipes, but it's all good, and I think we should see an effect pretty soon. Maybe not in this view, but if we then look at temperatures where the water is coming in at 22.67 degrees, and at what temperatures the water then goes out, that gives us a clear indication: has there been some heat transfer from the environment to the cooling loop? And if that's the case, then the air inside our base should gradually cool down until we kind of reach an equilibrium between the two temperatures. And that's basically the goal of all the cooling that we do here. So here we are sitting at 22.5, and soon we can check the temperature of the water that is going out. So here we are 26. So we have an increase of about 4 degrees. So it's not a big increase, but we can see here that the pipe itself is a bit on the greener side than the environment, and of course here in the upper portion, there we have higher temperatures to begin with. In order, because this setup is quite energy hungry with the aqua tuners, so I hooked up 2 more natural gas generators, but also added this geyser down here, so we do have enough gas to burn. But I think this will not last forever, and we shall see where we are taking this in the next episode. So hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!